I'm Ellie from the Dark Imp, helping parents reclaim family time by playing board games together. Today, we're going to look at 3 card games which are great fillers. Fillers are games that you can quickly grab and that will fill a short amount of time. Some of these fillers actually you can spend all evening playing. You just might want to play multiple rounds of them. These are easy to transport and quick to fill bits of time you have available. All of these pretty much are good for playing at a restaurant. Maybe this one needs a little bit too much space though. This is 6 Nimmt. As you can see, this copy is in German. Now I think this is the name of the game, regardless of the language that it's in. It is a German game, but I bought it on Amazon, and often when you buy things on Amazon, you can't really tell what language it's in. But fortunately, on Board Game Geek, you can download rules that have been translated into lots of different languages. So I managed to download the English rules in the size that will fit neatly in the box, which I like. That's great. So that's okay. I managed to, it doesn't change the gameplay because all that's in this box are some cards with numbers on. And you've got numbers from 1 all the way up to 104. So there's 101, for example. Each player gets dealt 10 cards at random. All the cards are shuffled and each player gets dealt 10 at random. And then 4 cards are placed face up to start 4 different rows on the table. So you're going to have a column with 4 cards in, and players are going to build up from the left-hand side of that row. Each one of the cards in that column is the start of a row, and players are going to build up from each one of those cards. So it's very, very straightforward. What you do on your turn, no, actually it's simultaneous action selection. So you're going to choose a card out of your 10, and at the same time as everybody else chooses a card, you put it face down on the table to indicate that you've chosen, and when everybody's chosen, you will reveal your cards. The player with the lowest card goes first. They put their card next to the on the row in which the card has the lowest difference from their card. So let's say we've got these 4 cards in a row. What have we got? 47, 89, 61 and 12. And I'm playing card 51. Well, it could go, you've always got to go in ascending order to the right. So it could go next to the 47 or the 12. It can't go next to these 2 because these 2 are bigger numbers. So it could go next to this one or this one, but it has to go next to the card which has the smallest difference. 47 is closer to 51, so you're going to put it on this row. So this goes here next to this. And then if other players have higher cards, they place theirs too. So you don't have a choice about where you place your card, but you do have a choice about which card you select in the first place. You're trying to get cards down in rows, but if you place the 6th card in the row, you are forced to take that row. You leave the card you placed at the end of the row and shift it down to the start of the row, and that becomes the new start card for that row, which people build up on. If you have a card, if you select a card that's too low, for example number 2, and there's no 1 on the board, so let's say the next lowest card is 29, for example, your 2 will not go anywhere. It can't go anywhere, right? So you choose a row and you take that row and you put your card in the new place. Usually people want to choose rows that don't have very many cards in, because when you take a row you score points and you don't want to score points. You see these little cows' heads at the top or bulls' heads at the top? That is the score for this card. So most cards score 1, but some cards score a lot more. So I think it's multiples of 5 and multiples of 11. So this is card 90, that scores 3. You can see it has 3 heads at the top. 88, so it's 5 and 11. Oh, 11 score more. So multiples of 5, they score you 3. Multiples of 11 score you 5. And then you've got one card which is 55, and that's obviously a multiple of 5 and 11, and that scores you 7. So this is not a great card to take. And of course what you might get is you might get a row with multiple danger cards in, and you might have to take the lot. So 55, 88 and 90, and that is not looking very good for that player. Hi, apparently I had a little bit of trouble with my video, so now we might have a slightly different angle as I've had to retake the second half of this video. So we've just been talking about 6 Nimmt, and at the end of each round you score points for how many bull's heads you have, and at the end of each round you keep a track of that. So the game ends when somebody hits, I think it's 60, and then you look at the standings from that, and the player with the lowest amount of points at the end of the game wins. It's fantastic, this game. Highly recommend it. It's really tense. It's really exciting. People keep putting down cards that stop you putting what you want to put down and forcing you to pick up rows. It's fabulous new game. 6 Nimmt. Secondly, Red 7. Red 7, again, it's just a deck of cards. This time we have 49 cards. There are 7 cards in each suit, and the suits are the 7 colours of the rainbow. Here they are. And there are cards 1 to 7 in each. The highest card is the red 7. The second highest card is the orange 7. So it goes through the 7s and then it goes down to the 6s. The highest 6 card is the red 6. At the beginning of the game, you start with this card in the centre of the table. It says you are currently playing red. Highest card wins. So on your turn, you have to put down a card, and here's the critical bit. You have to be winning at the end of your turn, otherwise you're out of the round. So at the moment we're playing highest card wins, so I have to put down a card which is higher than anything else on the table. So if I put down a blue 6 and there aren't any other 6s, or at least there's no 6 higher than a violet 6, and there's no 7s on the table, or indigo 6, then this card would be the winning card. So, okay, I put this down, I'm winning at the end of my turn. Then someone else needs to put down a card that's higher, or they need to change the rule. So you could put down a card that's higher. Here's an indigo 7, that's higher than a blue 6. And that player is winning at the end of her turn. But if you can't put down a card that's higher, you may need to change the rule in the middle. And so each of these suits, each of these colours also is associated with a rule. So instead of playing the card in front of you to your palette, I think they call it palette, you can play the card in the middle. And here are the rules. Here are what the rules are. If you play, throwing it around. Here we go. Here's another one. Red means highest card wins. That's what we've just been doing. Orange means most of one number wins. So if you have multiple 7s down in front of you, if you have 2 7s down in front of you and someone else has 3 4s down in front of you, the person with 3 4s is going to be winning. Most of one colour, most even cards, most different colours, most cards in a row, or most cards below 4. You can't win on all of these all the time, so you have to decide which cards from your limited selection you have to play down each time. Remember, you have to be winning at the end of your go. So if you can't win with the current rule, you can change the rule in the middle by playing one of your cards, which has a rule on it, into the middle. This one, if I played this one, it would change the rule to most cards in a row. And then maybe I'm winning, because I have more cards in a row, 3, 4, 5, than anyone else does. If you cannot win by playing a single card down in front of you or a single card to change the rule, you can change the rule and play a card. But you don't want to do that if you can avoid it, because you have limited cards in your hand and you don't get to draw any more. And you might be out just because you haven't got enough cards to play. You need the choice in order to keep winning at the end of your go. That is a very clever game, very simple to learn. There are some extra things you can do, some icons that give you additional actions or additional points. You don't really need to play with them. You might choose to have a go with that, but certainly when you start, I suggest you just play the basic rules. Red 7. And finally, Hanabi, or Hanabi, I don't know. This is a cooperative game. Again, it's cards. And in this game, there's 5 different suits, so there's 5 different colours, and the cards go from 1 to 5, but there are several of each number. Well, there's only 1 5 actually in each suit, but there's quite a few ones, like there's 5 ones in each suit. So you're playing cooperatively, you're trying to beat the game as a team. Everybody has a hand of 4 cards, but they can't look at them. They hold them so that everyone else can see them, but they can't see them themselves. On your turn, you can choose to either play a card, discard a card, or give someone a hint about one of their cards. If you play a card, it's better if you know what it is. It has to go on the table. So if I was to play this card at the beginning of the game, that's fine. What we're trying to do is we're trying to build up 5 fireworks in the 5 different colours. And you have to build them up, you have to start with a 1. And then you have to play, so this firework will need a white 1, and then it'll need a white 2, a white 3, a white 4, and finally it'll need the only white 5. So what you want to do is you want to, at the beginning of the game, find out where the 1s are and get them down. But if you play something that's already on the table, that can't go. If you play a card that can't go, so if I was to play this at the beginning of the game, it could not go. This has to sit on a white 3, which has to sit on a white 2, which has to sit on a white 1. This is a misplay and I'd have to get rid of that card. Not only that, but I have a limited number of 3, we as a team have a limited number of 3 incorrect plays during the whole game. You have 3 tokens which represent the sky, and if you do a misplay, if you play a card that won't go, you turn it over and it becomes a lightning bolt. When you get 3 lightning bolts, you're out. The firework display is ruined by a thunderstorm and you can't win. So what you want to do is you want to give players hints about what cards they're holding so that they know what to play and what to discard. So for example, someone else could say to me, this card and this card are 1s. I can't look at them, but they can all see them. So I'm like, okay, I can rearrange them. So I'm thinking these 2 are 1s. I don't know anything else about them, but these 2 are 1s. Or I could have been given the clue, these 2 cards are white. Or this card is red. I can't look at them. I can never look at them until I've played it or discarded it. So I'm trying to develop information to build up a picture about what I've got in my hand, and I'm trying to help other people learn what they've got in their hand. This is a real memory game. You've got to remember the clues that have been given to you. You have to remember which cards are which in your hand. It's so difficult because you keep picking up new cards and adding to it, and you can't remember which one you've talked about. You have to remember what clues have been given to other people so that you can give them more clues which will help them determine what they've got in their hand. And then you have to decide which ones to play and which ones to discard. Every time you give a clue, one of these tokens flips over, and you have a limited number of these clues. And then to switch them back, you have to discard cards. You don't want to discard cards that go. You want to discard cards that can no longer go, ideally. So if someone's played a white 1 and you realise you've got a white 1, you want to get rid of it. That would be the perfect outcome. But it doesn't always work like that. You lose if you get 3 lightning bolts. You win if you get all 5 fireworks from 1 to 5. And what's more likely is you get somewhere in between. And the way that happens is that the deck runs out and you count how many firework cards you've managed to play, and that's your score. This is a mind-bending memory game, really. Hanabi.